Arlington Road is a 1999 thriller directed by Mark Pellington.
Yeah, it stars Jeff Bridges as a university history professor who starts to become suspicious of his neighbours, played by Tim Robbins and Joan Cusack. He sees some weird things going on. Tim Robbins' character is supposed to be like an architect, I think, isn't he? Or no, he's an engineer.
Structural engineer.
Structural engineer, yeah, that's it. And he's got blueprints and things. And and when he's over his house, he asks them about some blueprints. He's supposed to be working on a shopping mall, but Jeff Bridges thinks, well, that's not a shopping mall, even though he said it was. So it's just little things start to happen. He gets suspicious, and he, like I say, he's a history professor. But the classes we see him teach mainly focus on terrorism, particularly domestic terrorism. So, he's already kind of paranoid guy because he researches all this stuff constantly, and his wife was an FBI agent, and she was killed in the line of duty 2 or 3 years previous. So he's deep within that sort of life. Even though he's not actually in law enforcement.
That death scene is like a little bit like the kind of Waco type thing.
Yeah, it's a little bit, yeah.
Armed to the teeth and something goes wrong and a shootout happens.
Yeah.
So he's clearly of the paranoid.
Yeah, he's predisposed to be a bit on the paranoid side, yeah.
Exactly.
And his girlfriend, who's played by Hope Davis, and was like his former teaching assistant, is kind of there to say, well, are you sure you're being a bit nuts? Stop being so paranoid. As he discovers more and more about his neighbours. So yeah, we don't really want to talk too much about the plot because
we don't, because this is a film we don't want to talk about anything really, apart from a little bit about the film.
Yeah.
So it is the film sets up. There's a bombing that has taken place in St. Louis, I think, isn't it? Which is kind of a nod. It's alluding to the Oklahoma.
Definitely,
City
yeah.
I mean, this whole thing. When did that take
95.
95.
Yeah, and this, I think, the guy that wrote the script, Aaron Kruger, I think he wrote it in 96. So
right. So right after that.
So, not saying he was influenced, but it wouldn't be surprised me. And the bombing in the film is very similar to the Oklahoma bombing. He makes some quite interesting points about this fictional bombing, about how when he talks to his class and says, when you found out that the bomber was dead, how did you feel? Did you feel more safe and secure? I mean, the point he's trying to make is that we're never really safe and secure. It's just an illusion. Just because this guy's there doesn't mean there's not somebody else out there, and doesn't mean he was working alone or anything like that. He's kind of making the point that maybe he wasn't working alone. We don't know because he's dead, and we can't ask him. You can't prove it either way. Just because the FBI didn't find any evidence doesn't mean that wasn't that's the case. Which is kind of foreshadowing a bit, but we won't say any more about that.
And they also allude to things like the Waco siege. I think the Unabomber was also kind of still going on at that time. He'd gone quiet in the 80s, and then he came back again in the 90s. So I think the 90s were quite a bit of a paranoid time, and you had obviously the kind of surgence of right-wing kind of groups and fear and paranoia and things like that.
Maybe not to the point that we've got today.
No,
but
exactly.
Obviously, this was pre-9/11.
This was pre-9/11.
Pre all the stuff that we've got these days. But quite strange to watch now.
It is with what's kind of going on at the moment. I mean, obviously there has recently been a spate of some bombings in Texas again. I think that guy's been. I think he was killed, wasn't he? Anyway, we're not political, so we won't go there. But it kind of rings true today what was going on in that film. I mean, it's a paranoid thriller, and it's a paranoid thriller very much in the style of the 70s films. I think I really like this film. I saw it I've seen it a few times actually, and then I watched it again a couple of days ago, and I still really liked it. And what I really like about it is it's got really great performances. Tim Robbins and Jeff Bridges is kind of playing what he usually does, but he does it very well. Yeah. And Tim Robbins is actually really good because he tends to play quite likeable characters. And he's quite likeable in this as well. He's a family man, but then there are moments that he kind of...
He's playing someone unlikable who's trying to be likeable.
Who does actually become quite likeable until you get on the wrong side of him. Yeah. But he does it really well. Joan Cusack, as you said, she often plays kind of, we've spoken to her about her before. She was in Grosse Pointe Blank that we spoke about a couple of weeks ago. And there's a couple of quite creepy moments with her here. but you know, she's quite. And you say she's not. I mean, she's not humorous, but
No.
there's kind of. I think it's
a quirkiness comes through slightly.
Exactly.
But there's one shot where, you know, she's talking to another character and she's smart. You know, you could see it's like a fake smile.
Yes.
Because I know, or you know that I know that you know, and sort of thing. And then her smile sort of drops, and it's quite a creepy moment.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing I will say, the only thing that, because I was reading that apparently this had kind of mixed reviews. A lot of people really like it, and some people are a little bit sniffy about it. And I wonder whether, because there's one moment, and of course we won't give anything away, but there's one moment in the film that it slightly veers over into almost horror territory. There's a scene in a party with the what's that song playing? It's that disco song.
Disco Inferno?
No, the Make a Little Love, that one.
Oh yeah. I can't remember.
Get down, boogies, get down tonight thing. Whatever it's called. Anyway, that song's playing in the background, and there's a party scene happening.
Yeah.
And the whole scene is kind of, it's a bit kind of hallucinogenic.
Yeah,
and
there's lots of like wonky angles and things like that.
Weird kind of shadows in the background, which I kind of thought the films that were similar in the 70s didn't need to go there for their attention, and I felt like it possibly didn't need to go there. But you know, it's quite a dark film, and there are quite dark moments in it, and I think ultimately it works. I mean, I think the one film you can really, and I'm not going to mention anything else, but one thing you can possibly closest to is the Parallax View. I don't know if you ever saw that one with Warren Beatty, which is one of the best paranoid thrillers of the 70s. This one's quite like that film in tone and also plot. So I'm not going to say anything else. If you know that film, you possibly know what I'm talking about. But, you know, obviously the 70s had a lot of kind of paranoid thrillers. You know, obviously things with Nixon were going on and the Vietnam War had happened. And I think the 90s is kind of a similar point as now as well. They don't have that many paranoid thrillers around at the moment.
Not really. I mean, I think if you're looking for something similar that's around now, I think the TV series Homeland will probably be quite similar. And, I mean, 24 a bit as well, I suppose, although that's you know, a bit more out there sometimes.
Yeah.
Indestructible Jack Bauer. But, yeah, it's I would say if you enjoy watching 24 and Homeland, then you would enjoy this film, I think.
Yeah, no, I think, I mean, it's really good, and it's, you know, like we said, really good performances. I mean, obviously Jeff Bridges, who we spoke about, Fisher King a few weeks ago. Jeff Bridges, great actor, isn't he? God, he's a really great actor. I mean, Starman and
Big Lebowski,
loads of films, and he's still out there kicking it today.
He did Hell or High Water recently, and True Grit for the Coen Brothers a few years ago. So loads of great stuff.
Great actor.
And there's also as his girlfriend, Hope Davis, who, you know, I think she's one of those actresses that I think she's done a bit of TV, but you would you recognise her as one of those faces that you see crop up in films from time to time. I think I saw her on TV the other day actually in Real Steel, the Hugh Jackman boxing robot film. You ever seen that? No. It's good.
Okay. And
I probably haven't sold it very well there, but it's better than it sounds.
Okay, I'll look out for it. And also Jeff Bridges' son in it is played by the actor, I think it's Spencer Treacle Clark. I'm not going to look that up. I think I remember that correctly. And he was the boy in Unbreakable.
Oh, yeah.
And he was also in Mystic River. So he's had quite a few. I think he does the odd thing nowadays. And then there's Robert Gossett, who plays, he's an FBI agent. His partner was Jeff Bridges' wife's character. Yeah. And he's done some TV work. He was in The Net. Remember that one? Other kind of paranoid 90s thriller.
Yeah.
About what would happen.
I don't think I've ever seen
like
it.
Facebook. It's kind of a prophecy type film about where we are now with people stealing data and people losing identities. It's quite interesting for its time, but that's not this film. No. So we might talk about that. No. He was also in Batman Returns. Yeah, and he's done lots of TV and things like that. But yeah, so it's. I think it's a really good film. I think it's really. If you haven't seen it, I definitely recommend checking it down. The tension is really good.
Yeah, it gradually ramps up and up.
I've seen it about 3 or 4 times, and every time I see it, I still get kind of like edge of my seat. Yeah. Even knowing what's to come, I'm still kind of edge of my seat, and it's really quite. You know, I mean, if you like kind of those Hitchcock. Ending type films. It's like that, but it's a really great film, and I really recommend.
And the end is pretty good.
The ending is amazing. I mean, really, watch it well, watch it for the film, but you obviously watch it for the ending, if that's why you're watching a film in the first place. But no, the whole film is really excellent, and I think even today it still works. I mean, it's not even. I wouldn't say it's even like those kind of standard '90s thrillers. I mean, it's clearly been influenced by the stuff that came out of the '70s, but they do it in a modern setting. And it's really well put together, and really great cast, and I think that always helps if you've got a good cast. But so
what else has Mark Pellington done?
Yes, Mark Pellington. Yes, we should talk about him. He directed The Mothman Prophecies, which have you seen it? You saw it?
A long time ago. I haven't seen it.
I saw it a few months ago. It's got Richard Gere and Laura Linney, and Richard Gere's a reporter, and he kind of goes back to he goes to a small town, and strange things happen, and he gets kind of embroiled into this weird plot, and people see things, and strange things happen. It's good.
I need to check it out again. Yeah. I might have it on DVD. I really can't remember.
It's quite dark as well, actually. In fact, linking those two films, there's two kind of quite dark, taut thrillers. Yeah, interesting. But I'm not sure. He's done a few others.
He's done a few other things. Nothing huge, I don't think. No, but no, those two. Well, Arlington Road and Mothman are pretty good.
Exactly. So yeah, and can you see it?
If you want to watch it, you can pick up the DVD or the Blu-ray. It's available over here in the UK.
The DVD?
I have the DVD. Yes, here it is. I bought this when it came out. I think like getting over 20 years ago. Imported it. I don't know why. Whether I saw it in the cinema, I can't remember. But back in those days, I used to buy stuff. I used to import stuff because it was out months before it was out in the cinema here.
Oh, okay.
Whether this was one, I can't remember. But
it's got special features.
It has got features, like it's got commentary with Mark Pellington and Jeff Bridges. It's got some making of stuff. It's got an alternate ending as well, which isn't as alternate as I thought it was going to be.
Right, okay.
It just adds a slightly different element to the end. It doesn't really change the ending. It just adds something to it, which is apparently was foreshadowed earlier in the film, but obviously they cut that out as well. But there's no deleted scenes, so that didn't make it onto the disc.
Right.
But I can't say any more because otherwise
No.
I'll spoil it. And trailers and talent files. Those are chestnuts.
Those great.
Which are now 20 years out of date.
Yeah.
So I don't think many DVD versions, particularly UK, I don't think carried over any of those features. So I think the US, if you want it on Blu-ray, I think the US one is basically the same as the DVD. It's got all the same stuff on it. I'm not sure about the UK Blu-ray, whether that carries anything over.
Because that came out last year, didn't it?
I think it did.
We don't know if there's any special
but no,
features.
I don't know if it's got anything on it. I would imagine not, because if they never bothered with a DVD, I don't know why they would bother with a Blu-ray. But
sure.
But yeah, if you're bothered about extras, go for the US one. It's not. I think it's region free. It's not expensive to pick up. So
Great.
go for that.
Excellent. Well, that was Arlington Road, and we hope you enjoyed this video. As always, leave us a comment if you've seen it or you intend to see it and you go out and watch it. Come back, leave us a comment. We'd love to have a conversation with you. Other than that,
thanks for watching. Check us out on Facebook and Twitter. Always twittering away on there.
you are. Some good stuff lately.
Thanks.
Got quite a few followers on there, more than we've got here.
Well, yes. If only some of those followers would turn into subscribers.
It would be lovely.
Never mind.
Doesn't seem to work that way.
It doesn't, does it? No.
It's completely two different universes.
They are, but we're grateful for everyone on both platforms.
Of course we are.
Listening to us, twittering on.
Yeah.
So, and check out some of our other videos. There's some links coming up, and we will have linked to other videos we've mentioned during the video. And hopefully you didn't click away in the middle of the video. You thought, I'll check that out later.
Yeah.
Or you came back to this one afterwards. Who knows?
Nice.
But consume them all, if you like.
There's loads there now.
There is.
Getting a bit of a back catalogue going on.
We are.
So, we're nearly up to a year.
I know. Well, getting close, aren't we? Yeah.
Maybe we'll do a big year anniversary special.
We could do, yeah. Maybe put all our videos in one video.
Just chuck them all together, marathon thing.
Yeah, maybe not. No. Anyway, join us again next week for another one.